Welcome to all. We are here to explain about the case study of commercial complex. This is our mini project team: Pratik Chaturvedi, Fahim B. Krishna, and S. Dharmaraju. We are the student of GRIT Hyderabad. Contents: introduction and need of structure, soil test, excavation, center line marking and layout, laying of PCC, footings, shear wall, columns, RCC beams, ramp, staircase. In conclusion, coming to introduction and need of structure, a commercial building is the building that is used for commercial use. Commercial buildings are the buildings in which shops are held. Generally, commercial buildings are located in a market area in rural places. This type of a building provides facilities for the users to have a number of shops at a place for their easy convenience and better facility. And in this commercial building provides a number of shops and offices at a single place and facility the users to shop at a place. Coming to soil test, depending on the location of the site, the present phenomena of a soil structures and minerals in grain soil test is to be selected. There are many tests available in a market to know or evaluate the soil bearing capacity. Soil sample is collected at different locations and different depth of ground in the particular site. There are many types of samples to collect. Samples distributed or undisturbed samples. After extracting the soil sample is taken for laboratory and different tests performed. After completion of the soil test, we go for excavation. As per the design criteria, excavation is start. The depth, breadth and length of the excavation comes from the designing. By using the different type of excavating equipment, excavation is done. The design permits to go for mat foundation or raft foundation or combined footing. In such cases, same time whole site is to be excavated. The whole site excavation is done when there are heavy loads coming on the footing and the soil bearing capacity is less or weak to resist. In such a case, we must proceed for whole site excavation. The depth of cutting should be checked by using different instruments like dumpy level, etc. While excavating, should be care about the adjacent building, if any, and while going for the deep excavation, slope and brushing should be provided. After excavation, center line marking and layout is done. The marking is to facilitate the work, and center line marking is referred as a reference marking in construction. Marking provides better benchmark for the erection of reinforcement. Laying of PCC. The first step involved in the construction of a footing is laying of PCC. PCC provides a base for the structure. It is laid using the lean cement concrete in 1:4:8 ratio. It is laid using the large size of HBG metal. Coming to footings. Footings is a structural element, provides base for the structure. It is transfer the structural load to the beneath the soil. Footing fails due to the overloading, excess settlement, general shear failure, local shear failure, and punching shear failure. Type of foundations. There are two types of foundations. First one is shallow foundations, another one is deep foundations. Coming to shallow foundations, often called footings, are usually embedded about the meter. One common type of split footing, which consists of strips or pads of concrete, which is extended below the cross line and transfer the weight from the walls and columns to the soil or bedrock. Another one is deep foundation. Deep foundation is used to transfer the load of a structure down through the upper weak layer of the topsoil to the stronger layer of the subsoil below. There are a different type of a deep foundation include the impacted driven holes, drilled shaft, caissons, helical piles, and earth stabilized columns. Coming to shear wall. Shear wall is an important element in construction. Shear wall is to resist the earthquake and wind forces. Shear walls are vertical elements of a horizontal force resisting system. They are typically RCC frames, struts walls covered with a structural sheathing material like reinforcement. When the sheathing is properly fastened to the stud wall framing, the shear wall can be resist the forces directed along the length of the wall. When the shear walls are designed and constructed properly, they will have to strength and stiffness to resist the horizontal process. Shear walls are the most efficient when they are aligned vertically and supported on the foundation walls or footings. When the shear walls do not align, other part of the building will need additional strengthening. Shear wall resists three types of forces: shear forces, uplift forces, and horizontal forces. Coming to columns. A column forms a very important component of the structure. Column supports the beams which in turn support walls and slabs. It should be realized that the failure of a column results in the collapse of the structures. A column is defined as a compressive member, the effective length of which exceeds the 3 times of the least lateral dimension. The classification of columns. Column may be classified based on the different criteria such as based on the shape, rectangular, square, circular, polygon, based on the slenderness ratio, short column and long column, based on the type of loading, axial loaded column, a column subjected to axial load and unaxial bending, column subjected to axial load and biaxial bending, based on pattern of lateral reinforcement, tight column and spiral column. The type of a reinforcement for columns and their requirements. First one is longitudinal reinforcement. In this longitudinal reinforcement, minimum area of a cross section of a longitudinal bar must be at least 0.8% of a gross section of area of the column. Maximum area of cross section of a longitudinal bar must not exceed 6% of a gross cross sectional area of the column. The bar should not less than the 12 mm of diameter. The minimum number of a longitudinal bars must be 4 in rectangular columns and 6 in circular columns. The spacing of a longitudinal bar measuring along the periphery of the column should not exceed 300 mm. Coming to transverse reinforcement, in this in the form of lateral trace or spiral. The diameter of the lateral trace should not less than the 1/4 of the diameter of the largest longitudinal bar and no case less than 6 mm. The pitch of the lateral trace should not exceed it. And last one is helical reinforcement. The diameter of the helical bar should not less than the 1/4 of the diameter of the largest longitudinal bar and not less than 6 mm. The pitch should not exceed it. Coming to RCC beams. RCC beams are cast in cement concrete reinforcement with a steel bars. Beams take up the compressive and add rigidity to the structure. Beams generally carry the vertical gravitational forces but can also be used to carry the horizontal loads. The loads carried by the beam are transferred to the column and walls girders, which then transfer to the forces to adjacent structural compressive member. RCC beams constructed in two types. First one is single reinforced beam and another one is doubly reinforced beam. Coming to single reinforced beam, provides with a longitudinal reinforcement in the tension zone only. In doubly reinforced beam reinforced with a steel in compressive and tension zones are called doubly reinforced beam. This type of a beams will found necessary when due to headroom consideration or architectural consideration. The depth of the beam is restricted. The beam with limited depth, if the reinforced on the tension side only, may not have enough moment of resistance to resist the bending moment. By increasing the quality of the steel in tension zone, the moment of resistance cannot be increased indefinitely. Usually, moment of resistance can be increased by not more than 25% of over the balanced moment of resistance. Coming to staircase. Staircase is also important element in any construction. Staircase provides a access for the various floor of the building. The stair consists of a series of the steps with landing at approximate intervals. The stretch between the two landings is called flight. The room or space where the stairs are provided is called staircase. Coming to ramp. Ramp is nothing but an inclined surface or roadway connecting different levels. A concave bend of a handrail where the sharp changes in level or direction occurs as it is stair landing. The ramp design limitations of a general purpose public car park at a shopping center. There are two types of ramps are there. First one is connecting ramps and another one parking ramps. Coming to connecting ramps, ramps linking vertically separated parking desks as common found in the multi-storied car parks. Another one is parking ramps. Parking ramps are combining the functions of the circulation and storage as per occur in the spiral or helical car parks. Sump is nothing but a low-lying place such as a pit that receives and stores the water. Thank you. వేసిండు అయినా రాలేదు ఇట్లా ఏవో కొద్దిగా అట్లా సింబల్ వస్తుంది అప్పుడు వీడియోలో కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది అప్పుడు అప్లోడ్ చేయాలి నేను చేసింది వాయిస్ వస్తుంది కానీ ఆ వీడియోలో కన్వర్ట్